way, let's take a pause and take our first round of check-ins for the evening to the 420 edition of the BAARC Monday Night Net. First round stations, call now.
AFIJB, Matt Donaldson. KC5SAG, in for the count.
Okay, well that's a short first list, but that's okay. AF5JB Matt and Scotto KC5SAG. Scott, we got you down in and out. So Matt, take it away.
Appreciate it, Scott. Forgive me, you and everybody else out there this evening. Hope everybody a good weekend and everything. And I didn't do much. Kind of hung around town. I'm kind of hung out with a couple friends of mine. Ex-co-worker and his neighbor. So that's kind of neat. Of course, next week I'm gonna go out of town and do all that. But other than that, not doing too bad at all. Work's doing going pretty well, and just like the weather warming up, so that's always a good thing. And had a storm get come pretty close. I saw where Bixby and official Broken Arrow got a pretty good storm, but didn't get too much away of anything. Over in West Austin, but other than that, don't have too much of anything else. You dropped a machine there, Scott. Give me a second. Have a good say week or work week or whatever you might have going. And also, Scott, thanks for coming by last night on Super Link. Glad to hear you got a 220 set up. In case we have to go to severe weather mode. So appreciate it, Scott. Hope to catch you next Saturday night. Saturday once again. And this is the AFIJB, Matt. West Austin. Back to control. Thanks again, and until next time.
Hey, copy that, Matt. So Matt brings a good segue into things. He already mentioned the weather a little bit, and if you're watching the YouTube live, I've got the National Weather Service decision support page for the Tulsa office up, and they've got us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday colored in for severe thunderstorms, maybe some lightning, heavy rain on Tuesday, Wednesday. So that'll be stuff to keep track of. Lightning wise, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all of this, you can see this for yourself. www.weather.gov/TSA/DSP. That's Tango Sierra Alpha, as in Tulsa, and Delta Sierra Papa, as in decision support page. Okay, so Matt and Scott take this down to the bottom of that shortish list. So let's take a pause for additional check-ins to the net tonight. Call now.
Juliet Kilo Uniform.
Okay, let's take these two by two here. Go ahead, Austin. Good evening. Well, I thought I had names right. Station ending SEM. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is KI5SEM. I think someone was checking in right as you were talking.
Okay. Okay. Well, we've got you and we've got Jerry KC5JKU. We got you two guys down. I guess before we jump up to the top of the list and work Austin, is there anybody I left off?
KI5
Okay. Thanks for your patience, sir. You're number 3. Okay, back to you, Austin. Good evening. Welcome to the net.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, this is KI5SEM. I just pulled up the decision support page on the weather.gov. That's pretty cool. While I guess the isolated thunderstorms as they were moving through Tulsa today, I turned on an AM radio and I was listening to the lightning. And every time I saw it flash outside, the AM radio would make a cool noise, and I could hear lightning that was far away, and then sometimes you'd hear like a big burst, and then you would hear the thunder. But besides that, in schoolwork, that's pretty much all I've done today.
Well, hey, if I haven't asked you before, what are you studying?
Just high school, and I'm going to Tulsa Tech for Cisco networking. So I've been doing high school work today, and then a little bit of Cisco.
Hey, all right. That sounds pretty cool. Are you enjoying that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, not the high school part, but it's Tulsa Tech part. but yeah, the Tulsa Tech, I absolutely love it. I'm going to get my my CCENT by the end of this year, and then it's a 2-year program. So next year I will have my CCNA, which are 2 very big certifications. Right now, I actually do have one Microsoft certification. It's a MTA in Network Fundamentals, so I have that, and I'm going for the CCENT here in say a month or 2.
All right. Well, hey, cool deal. Hey, nice work with the lightning experiment. You'll find all sorts of interesting things. Bad transformers on PSO's 12 kV system. Loose ground wires. Lightning. There's there's all kinds of things to listen to on a AM radio. So hey, cool deal. Keep up the experiments, and I love that sort of stuff. I consider myself a lifetime learner. So whenever you find out something cool like that, do let me know. And I don't know, nothing too different from with me going on. This is week 6 from work from home, so I get to do my day job playing with radios next to the amateur radios. Still been watching the APRS chatter on the used Kenwood D700 that I picked up, and also on the bench I've got a Kenwood TM642, so I'm listening to 220, 2 meters, and 440, 3 bands, 3 at a time, over on that rig. I've been listening to the 220 system that's all linked together, like 224 480 for the Owasso guys. And then I've been listening to the Rose machine, the 146 985. Been on that some. Been on the 14709 machine over in Claremore on the Board and Buster's net. And been listening to a little bit of UHF also, the 444 675 Mace County machine. So I don't know, just a little bit of travel log there while we're quarantined together. Back to you, Austin.
Yeah, I don't know what you do for a living, but you said playing with radios. Is that what you do, or were you referring referring to amateur radio.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So, by education, I'm an electrical engineer, and I spent the first 10 years out of school, roundabouts 10 years, at Williams when they had the Wiltel long distance telephone network. And then I spent the rest of my career at AEP, most of the time in the high voltage substation design and engineering group. But more recently, I took a transfer to the telecom department, kind of came back home to telecom, and I help indoors. I'm in the office with the engineering and paperwork for the 800 megahertz trunked radio system, the so-called EDAX. I'm helping out to retire that and migrate it to P25, and then we maintain a fleet of microwave towers on 6 gigahertz as well. Over.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun work. That sounds like a lot of fun. I would totally love to do that. You said AEP, I think I heard, Alpha Echo Papa.
Yeah, those are the guys that own PSO. So of course AEP is a conglomerate of regional utilities, I guess you could say. We probably have quite a few, almost a dozen in probably as many states. So yeah, it's a big operation. Over.
Very cool. Yeah. I'd love to work on radios all day. Yeah, I did. I mean, I did pick up a power supply though. That's another thing I did, and the front of it was kind of warm, so I put a computer fan and attached that to a 12-volt battery pack. But I'll probably put a wire going to the power supply, so it'll run this fan too. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing today.
Oh no, you yeah, you caught me with my mouth full. Yeah, we tried that power supply out Sunday morning, did we not?
Yeah, Sunday morning. Yeah, so I got the power supply. It was running a little warm at the front of it. The front of it, I guess, it always gets hot, but the back of it gets hot when I transmit on 50 watts. So the back of it has a really big heat sink, and it stays cool most of the time, well, all the time. But the front of it is just slowly heats up. If I let it sit for 2 hours, it'll be pretty hot at the front. So I put a computer fan there, and it's been keeping it pretty cool today. I've been running it all day, and I can put my hand on there without being burnt. So I'd call it a success. So yeah, I got the power supply all set up. I got the AM radio set up, and then the Yaesu FTM 100 here all set up. So I'm all set up here. I've been on the radio scanning around all day.
Yeah, you are fixed up. You've got APRS, you've got the Fusion digital mode, and you've got more than enough power on analog. And I'm kind of new to having 50 watts again on FM. That's more than I usually have. I usually have an assortment of walkie-talkies or smaller portable rigs. So the 700 and the 642, both of these being older rigs. I picked them up used during the quarantine time, since I didn't get to go to Hamfest and blow a bunch of money. Hi. So no, we're good. I'm having a ball, and it sounds like you are too. Hey, thanks for the great conversation, Austin. I appreciate it, and thanks also for the Sunday morning QSO. That was a lot of fun. I'll give it back to you to clear, and maybe we'll get on down the list. But thanks again for stopping by. KI5 SEM, KD5 NJR. Over to you to clear.
Yeah, this is KI5 SEM clear. Back to KD5 NJR.
Okay, next on the list, Jerry, King Charlie 5, Juliet King uniform. Hey, Jerry. How are you doing today?
opportunity to participate in the net this evening and look forward to interesting conversation. The one you just had there sound like an energetic young person.
Oh yeah, yeah. Austin's going to be in a good place with that CCNA certification. That'll be a great way to get his foot in the door somewhere and go from there. But hey, I was going to tell you something about Hewlett Packard calculators. Over.
Sound like an interesting topic. Yeah, we can spell HP. I did have some luck with development here at the shack. Bob came over, brought the polyphasers, and we took advantage of a break in the weather. Winds weren't too bad, so we went ahead and hoisted the antenna structure up to the tower top. So we checked that box, so now it's on to getting the cables into the shack. But serious progress.
No, that was fantastic, and it looks like a scale model of one of our towers. I was rather impressed with the antenna standoff structure that you came up with, and that entry port for the coax looks really professional. Sunday morning, I had a little bit of free time before we went out to Tiffany's mom's to celebrate her birthday, and I dug out a HP 100 LX laptop, not laptop, but palm top, one of those little clamshell, I think that one uses an 80186, but one of those old PC compatible Hewlett Packard handhelds. I think you've seen those over at my place before. I loaded a HP 41 emulator, and yeah, it's really slow, but it does seem to work. So if I ever need some of those functions, I've got them now. Over.
Is it possible to load some of the simple programs into it, or will the emulator allow that?
Yes, there's a enterprising guy over in Germany that has read the ROMs. There's aftermarket ROMs that you could get, and he's got those in a library. Statistics pack, whatnot. You can bring those in and then run the code on the ROMs. I'll have to investigate a little further if there's a file format available to bring in the magstripe programs. But yeah, it looks like it's sophisticated enough that you could program, off the keyboard and then save your work somehow or another. It's a pretty good sized program. So anyhow, I was suitably impressed. And one more thing I was going to mention, I found a old version of Borland's Turbo C. This is from the middle 80s. This is like Turbo C 2.01, if I'm not mistaken. And I've got that running on my PC. And I wrote the traditional Hello World program, compiled it, and then got that program transferred over to the 100, and it ran as well. So I'm writing some very small C language programs. Over.
Fun mental exercises to do that, and you've got the you've got the gear and initiative, so sky's the limit, I suppose. Yeah, looking forward to further developments here at the shack, so we'll be staying in touch about that.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, anyways, keep on keeping on. I'm in week number 6 of work from home, and today went pretty well. Didn't have too many video and audio glitches on the conference calls that we had to have. So I had a pretty good day out here. It didn't get too terribly hot either. So in my free time, I'll keep working on the Lunar Lander program, and we'll talk again soon, Jerry. 7-3, KC5JKU, KD5NJR. Our next station, KI5 DPZ. Go ahead, welcome to the net.
This is Dawn, KI5, DPZ. Really didn't have anything to say, just wanted to check in on the net. Heard you guys on.
Alright, well, fantastic, Don. Well, this is the typical condition. Monday nights at 8, with the notable exception of the first Mondays of the month. That's the club meeting night, when things are running smoothly, or there's not a special event of some fashion. So thanks for stopping by. I think you mentioned you didn't have a whole lot of chatter for the net, so I'll check you out of the net. Hey, 7-3, and have a great week. KI5 DPZ, KD5 NJR. I'll mention something here right fast while we have a lull in the action, while we're at the bottom of the list. The Storm Prediction Center, www.spc.noaa.gov. They show slight risk of severe thunderstorms for Tuesday, April 21. And the way they draw the map here, the marginal bubble is to the east of us. I would call that Fayetteville. So I think we're in good shape. They're going to color us in just to keep everybody weather aware. But I wouldn't say that we're in the hot seat necessarily. So there you go. spc.noaa.gov. Another good thing to mention from time to time. And I've really kind of taken that to heart since the March spotter training exercise that we had over at NSUBA. I've been on the Day 1 Outlook and the decision support page quite a few times. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list. I'm Scott, KD5NJR, and we'll take additional check-ins for the net at this time. Call now.
Hello, India 5, Charlie, Papa, Richard. The CQM, fourth count. Brought 5, Tango, Victor Golf for the count. Kilo Alpha 5, Tango Romeo Oscar.
Okie dokie, gang. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 check-ins. KI5CPP, Richard. KC5ZQM, Doug, you're in and out. Doug. Bob, KF5 Television Guy. KF5 TVG, you're in and out. Hey, Bob. Hope you're doing good. And our last station, KA5 TRO, Tony. And Tony, he did not signal that he's in and out. So looking forward to talking to Tony. Bob, if you're listening, I got the HP 100 out. I know you've got one too. In fact, I've got your serial cable. So don't forget that I've got that thing. Somebody turned up on Facebook and said they had a Mauser part number for that 2x4 for that 8-pin connector that goes on the side of the HP 100. So maybe we'll talk about that sometime. And if you need anything written, I've got a C compiler up and running. Okay, so we'll go up to the top. KI5CPP, go ahead.
Kind of jealous by talking about working at home. I still get to go to work and deal with the muttering public every day.
I think I'm going back in a couple weeks, and they said it would be a phased approach, and they would tell us more later. But I'm cautiously optimistic. I kind of like the routine of getting up and going in, and it's become a little bit of a challenge to stay motivated. It was, probably 3 weeks ago I wasn't saying that, but it's a little bit harder to keep hustling. I'm doing a pretty good job of it regardless, but I'm going to be ready to get back and see my friends and whatnot. Uh, the public. You're making me laugh. Go ahead, Richard.
Um, talking about some of those old computers and compilers, ANSYS languages. Um, I had two people I used to work with, and one gentleman I used to work for call me and wanted to know if I would be willing to move out of state on 30-day contracts, at least 3 in a row, and help people translate COBOL into something a little more modern. And two of them got mad at me because I just laughed at them. Where they were wanting me to go and what they were wanting done is not something that's going to happen in 30 days, especially not since it's a government project.
Well, I'm curious. Was it still running on pretty old hardware, or did they have the hardware replaced, or they just needed help with the software?
The first one, the hardware is supposed to be in crates in the warehouse to be put in as soon as the software is updated. And a lot of what they're looking for is copying data from one place to the other, but they're only updating the Department of Labor. They're not updating taxation and revenue and everything else. So, all of the programs they want written, they also want translators to be able to talk between the new and the old systems.
That sounds like a mess. A lot of extra steps.
30 years ago, I might have been up for that kind of challenge, but anymore, no, it's not my cup of tea anymore. But the other thing I was going to say is I'm also jealous of everybody talking about sitting in the house having a radio. All I've got in the house is a 5-watt HT going through a 10-watt linear and a mag mount on top of the AC plenum in the attic. And I'm still working on getting everything in the house. Got a nice setup here in the truck, but it's a little different when it's mobile. And
Well, hey, that's just how I started out. I ran a long time with mobiles. In fact, handhelds. In fact, that's still the vast majority of my setup. And yeah, cookie sheets and bookcases and whatever. It's unobtrusive and kind of portable still, even if you do leave it in the house. Yeah, I'm a big fan, and you sound just fine getting into the repeater. So no worries there.
I've had a few decades of experience, 2-meter public safety and UHF public safety, EMS. Mobile is easy. Decent antenna, decently mounted on the highest point of the metal part of the vehicle, and 25 watts. You can talk pretty far if you want to.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was looking at the logs on APRS, and I've got one of my APRS rigs is set on medium power, and it's getting into the Fort Gibson APRS digipeater and Mounds and Keatonville, and it's doing everything I want it to do. So you're absolutely correct. You know, you get a halfway decent setup, and you can do quite a lot with it.
Oh, APRS, something digital is the next thing I'm gonna. I'm not sure which way I want to go with all of the different choices. You know, DMR, Fusion, whatever. Uh, I guess it's just close your eyes, drop your finger in the catalog, and whatever it lands on, start there and work out, right?
Oh, we can do a little better than that. You know, I would say you could go ahead and take D-Star off the table just from the small, if perhaps none, number of repeaters around here that support that mode. There's a lot of fusion machines. There's kind of a confederation of those. TARC has one, Rogers County has one, you know, and I'm probably leaving off some others. And they're sort of linked together in that Oklahoma room. That's pretty handy. And yeah, and then the DMR stuff is competitively priced for sure. And there's a lot of those machines around. So I don't know. You'd probably end up with you'd probably end up with both at some point. A Fusion HT and a DMR machine, and it seems like you know, 150 each for those wouldn't be, you know, that'd be about typical. So yeah, you got a lot of options over.
Um, well, I'm also looking at. I did a little bit of traveling from here across the Texas Panhandle into northeast New Mexico, and trying to figure out which one would have the most compatibility between here and there, and then, well, my parents live over in Tryon, Oklahoma, just south of Perkins, and there, if I remember right, there's a fusion machine in Stillwater, so, you know, the decision will probably be made on what I'm going to have the easiest time contacting somebody on and playing with to start with, and then, like you said, probably have a couple of everything before it's all over. Anyway, I'm soaked up enough time here. Send it back to you. Thank you, sir, for hosting. Have a good evening, everybody. Cat 5 CTP.
All right, 7-3 KI5 CPP from KD5 NJR, and we'll go down to Tony KA5 TRO. Hey Tony, or hey Tony.
85 NJR and net. Good evening, KA5 TRO here. Hope you're having a good day, Scott. I'm had a long day. Got a few long days in my future here as people in various places start to try to kick some projects back off. That'll be fun to experience. I'm in week 68 of working from home. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, but I apologize for being a little late. The hospital net ran a little longer than Paul expected it to, but it was good exercise, and we learned a lot. And hopefully, we'll take everything we learned and apply to the next one. Over.
Yeah, that sounds good. I don't think I'm embedded in those email chains. So let me know how that's going. And maybe next time, if there's some way to help, let me know. But hey, good deal. I'm glad that sounds like it worked out reasonably well. I'm glad to hear it. So hey, did you have a good weekend?
Weekend. Did a whole lot of nothing for the most part, so that was appreciated. Um, I'm still recovering from my surgery, but yeah, I'm about, I think, 75% of the way back. So we'll see. Hopefully, it'll continue to improve, and I'll be 100% before long. So, but I spent the weekend doing very little and watched the entirety of the new drop of Bosch on Amazon Prime. It's a great show, and of course I just binged my way right through it. Then I had to go back and rewatch seasons 1 and 2 because it's been a while. Over.
Okay, so the one you just watched was season 6, correct?
Yep, that's affirmative. Watched season 6 because it dropped last, what was it, Thursday or Friday? On the 17th is when it dropped, and I stormed through that and went back to the beginning a little bit as well. But yeah, season 6 is really good. If you haven't already watched it, or you've got to watch season 5 to know some of what's going on in season 6. But I'm sure you've watched pretty much all of them yourself. As I recall, you're a fan of that show as well.
I love that show, and Tiffany likes it too. So we try not to watch it when the other one is busy. So we stalled out somewhere around halfway through season 5. So yeah, I wanna get that finished, and the trailer looks really good. I don't know, it had a little bit of a 90210 kind of feel to it, but we watched season 1 of Outer Banks, and then we started. I guess we're halfway through Waco. So I don't know. It seems like we're into the murderers and whatnot. And earlier through this whole mess, we watched all the seasons of Making of a Murderer. So I don't know. My wife is into any sort of crime drama, crime docudrama, what have you. We're all over that. So what can I say? I would like to watch The Expanse, and there's some science fiction on there too that looks pretty good. So we'll have to see if we have time for that. But I don't know. I got some reading done over the weekend, and did a little bit with Tiny C, and drew some corny stuff in CAD. So I'm feeling a little bit accomplished over.
Had a more productive weekend than I did, but I've got to get really busy this week work-wise, and got to get caught up on a lot of the stuff I've missed and other things. But anyway, we'll be around. I'll swing by one day this week and pick up that extra stuff that I left with you. Now, assuming that 642 is working well for you based on your comments to Austin earlier. Over.
Oh well, you're soaking in it now.
Well, there you go. It sounds fantastic. So yeah, I figured it was that good Kenwood audio, but it was just a question of which one it was. But if it's the 642, yeah, it sounds great. So there you are, and hopefully we'll keep it operational for a while. And like I said, I've got those other ones circling, and hopefully if anybody out there in radio land might be interested in a tri-band VHF, UHF, and whatever else the third band might happen to be, reach out to me, because I will have an extra one or two. Of when this is all over with. 'Cause, there's several of us, myself and KC5JKU, KG5TVG, and you and me, all have one of these in various configurations as I've been able to find them. And I've got one spare one sitting here on my shelf right now, and one that, well, actually two that I should get back in the next 4 to 6 weeks, including the one that lost its mind when that power supply of yours fried. Over.
Yeah, sounds good. Would be great to have members 5 and 6 in the Antique Kenwood Club. That would be a hoot. And if you did sell those chassis, would you still have a inventory of spare modules? And I only ask that because stuff like this, a little bit of support would go a long ways.
If I'll have any spare modules when this is all said and done. I only have one spare module right now, and it's a 6-meter module. The rest of them are all consumed, either by me or installed in some of these other rigs. I might be able to free a 220 module for somebody who would be interested in setup that way. So for those who aren't familiar with these, Kenwood made these in the mid '90s, and they're still very desirable radios because they come standard with actually it depends on which model you buy. They are capable of having 3 separate band modules that will act like 3 completely separate radios on receive, and then of course you can pick one to transmit from, and you can crossband, and you can do a bunch of other stuff. But you get the choices of 10 meters, 6 meters, 2 meters, 1.25 meters, 70 centimeters, and 23 centimeters. So 1296, which we don't have any of around here to speak of, but that might change. You never know. But yeah, you can put 3 band modules in one at a time, and I'm actually planning to keep 2 for myself now and go after the one band that I don't have is that 10-meter FM module, and I'll find one and stick it in there. Not that there's a whole lot of 10-meter FM going around here, but you never know. But just to have the complete set, as it were. Hi. Over. Back to you.
Hey, got you there. Yeah, well, I mean, it's good if you can build all that up into all those spare cards, rather, into radios and get that sold off. That limits your exposure. So, yeah, maybe folks will get in touch with you if they're interested. But yeah, they're neat radios, and especially anybody that's got a problem, as it were, with retro stuff like I do, they'll be all over it. Hey, all right, Tony. Hey, anything else for the net tonight?
Good to chat with you, and thanks to you for running the net, and everybody else for being patient with us while we chat. KD5NJR, KA5TRO, back to you.
All right, so we're at the bottom of the list. Hey, thanks, Tony. KA5TRO, KD5NJR. We'll run up to the top here. Well, actually, we're not. We're going to go a little bit. We're going to go to the top. Hey, Austin, are you still around? KI5SEM, KD5NJR.
I'm still here.
All right. Hey, I wanted to let you know. I copied your APRS message. Over.
Yeah, that's the first time I've sent a message on this radio, and I put the repeater on a handheld, so I've been listening to it on the handheld, and then while the Yaesu was on the APRS frequency. But yeah, I was trying to figure out how to do that, but I watched it like a quick YouTube video, and I figured it out. And yeah, you said you're on APRS. message and see if it got there.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Right. So I'm a big fan of APRS FI as well, and at lunchtime, I tried to get a few steps in. So I grabbed the Kenwood. I grabbed the THD 74, and turned APRS on. Went for a walk with that thing. It's a KD5 NJR-7, and got back home from my walk and looked at APRS FI and looked at where all I'd been. Sort of went in a loop around the neighborhood and then up to the stoplight and back, and that was pretty cool. And all the time I'm digipeating through the shack here through KD5 NJR-9. I've got another ID. I've got a KD5 NJR-6. That's a APRS IS32. That software. If you're a Windows user, check that out. APRS IS32. It's pretty good software, and it helps to connect a radio to it, but you don't have to. It'll use the cloud for its data source, and that's really good software. It's very easy to iGate and digipete with that software, so that's just a tip. Or if you're a Linux guy, there is always Xastir, XASTIR. So anyway, hey, thanks for the message. I appreciate it. KI5SEM, KD5NJR. Okay, so we've got a break in the action here, so let's look at special event stations for 420 and beyond. We missed Moonshine Heritage Month. That was, oh no we didn't. That goes through the end of the month. Alright, here we go. April 15th through April 30. Whiskey 4 Mike in Glade Hill, Virginia is on the air with the Franklin County, Virginia Moonshine Heritage Month. All standard digital frequencies, 28.400, 21.330, 14.250, 72.15, 38.50. Those, okay. And then on CW as well. So there you go. Something to track down. And they are going to be, are they portable? It doesn't say. It just says that they've got a special event station. Okay, Earth Day station 422, W2NPT from New Jersey, it looks like. The 50th anniversary of Hot Springs is April 25th. So that's in Arkansas. Whiskey 5, Hotel Sierra Victor. They're going to be on the air 14.240, 72.40, and a repeater, 147.015. So there you go. Let me see. Anything else? Yeah, we'll do one more here. April 25th, International Marconi Day. Whiskey 4 Sierra in Florida. And they're going to operate from the beach, the site of a 1911 Marconi Company station. So I didn't know that they had those in Florida. I thought that was kind of a New York and New Jersey deal. But that's what you get for listening to me. Whiskey 4 Sierra. That's on April 24th. And, excuse me, April 25th. Also April 25th, San Jacinto Day. So for Texas history people like me and Jerry, and I thought we were a little late for... no, we're not, because this isn't Texas independence. This is the Battle of San Jacinto. All right, San Jacinto Day. Okay, 425 from Kilo 5 Tango, Natchitoches, Texas. This is when Sam Houston catches General Santa Anna at nap time. And, again, a fairly small force of Texican rebels takes over a much larger contingent of the Mexican army in the piney woods of East Texas, somewhere north of present-day Houston. San Jacinto Day, Kilo 5 Tango, Natchitoches, Texas, 14.260, 14.174, 72.40, and 71.47. And most of these times you send these guys a QSL card and you'll get back a cool one or a certificate. So anyhow, if there's ever one that's got history or aviation or something, I'm usually pretty pliable and I mention it. And we won't talk about Hamfests because, kind of prior experience says that we were sort of closed for the season. But in more of the late July timeframe, we'll have Oklahoma City Hamfest maybe. And then in late August, they do the Joplin Hamfest. A couple things to be mindful of down the road. All right, we're at the bottom of the list. Additional stations for the net tonight. Call now from Kilo Delta 5, November Juliet Radio. It's a BAARC Monday Night Net.
K5 LTS, Jane, PA Rose District. Golf pod, Yankee Golf.
C4ISP. For Delta 5, Juliet Lima.
Okay, Bob. All right, so we're off to a start there. Everything was pretty clear. I think I'm still learning that one call sign. KG5YG. I think I've got that right. Okay, so here's what we got. KE5LTS. We've got Gene. And I heard Gene on during the Boredom Busters net. So I'm glad he's back for more. KG5YG. K4ISP. Hey, John. And Bob, 85JL. So let's go up to the top and see what Gene's doing in downtown BA. Hey, Gene.
Not doing a whole lot right now, watching the fire trucks go down Main Street, but other than that, just paperwork, read, study, working on my general, but haven't had much luck on it so far, but I'll keep at it.
Well, it sounded like you had all the radios on today and all of them scanning, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, I can't. The Kenwood and the Connect 800, I can't have them on at the same time. I have to switch the way I've got it hooked up. I've got to switch the lead from one to the other. But I do spend some time on the 800 scan, and that's what I was talking to Johnny about, trying to get the zones figured out. I think they made a mistake on that one. They only allow 16 frequencies in each zone.
Yeah. I guess in the commercial environment, that's enough. But because the way that would turn out, they would divvy them up a little bit different than what we would do. But anyways, yeah, it works. And I thought that was a good conversation with you and Johnny this morning. I liked that. So anyways, I was glad to hear you on.
Every day so far, so haven't slept that long, so I was able to get to them. But other than that, there's a song out these four walls. I've been trying to find it, but I can't remember how it goes. But anyhow, Scott, keep up the good work. Thanks for running the net, and KE5LTS will be on the side.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that at work, about zones and how to divvy things up. For us, we'll have 5 channels per site. Then of course each channel carries a possible 2 QSOs. So that's quite a lot of chatter. But then then we have to manage a list of talk groups and what talk groups we put on what sites and which ones we don't. And We've got a few hundred sites system wide, so it keeps us busy. And for sure, you want to, at least I do, get home and deal with something a lot simpler. So I think I like the analog stuff just because, the digital stuff is what you would find in your day job. So anyway, hey, talk to you later, Gene. KE5LTS, KD5NJR. Now let's move down to KG5YG. Good evening. This is Scott. How was your day?
Started off okay until somebody started shooting me messages on what oil was trading at. I'm in that industry, so it went south real quick, watching everything drop real fast.
Hey, I had some texts from some friends of mine as well. Where was it at into trading?
I saw some WTI crude trading down around $7, and open market on oil barrels was at negative 35 at one point. So people were paying $35 a barrel just to sell oil on the open market for May.
If only there was a way to store it. Hi.
A big problem right now. Nobody's using it, and we don't have any storage. If we think May's going to be bad, I think June's going to be even worse if they don't open up the floodgates on usage.
Well, hey, I don't mean to make light of a bad situation, but yeah, it was right before lunch. A friend of mine that had he'd just come to our telecommunications group from the oil and gas industry said, "Hey, have you seen that?" And I thought one article I read said it had been the worst day since 1986, and it probably went on to become the worst day ever, right?
Yeah, I believe that's right. I saw it down minus 67% for today alone, and that's significant. So it was very bad, but I think next week it'll come back around. I'm just making sure my resume is up to date in the meantime, just in case.
Oh man. Well, hey, that's always interesting conversation. We have a similar thing in the utility industry. Someday there'll be batteries that play nice with higher voltages and AC. Right now, if you want to do a big battery plant, you have significant hoops to jump through. So, electricity is made on demand. We don't store it. And people have talked or we don't store it at massive scale. I'll put it that way. And people have said for a long time, if you could make it at night, or make it when it was cheap, or whatever, then that there would be advantages to that. And I think that's coming for our industry. But it's a significant infrastructure for sure in your field and mine as well.
Yeah, there's a power plant just south of one of our locations, which is north of Edmond, and the peak power plant runs maybe 2 to 3 weeks a year, and that's it. But it's there and it's maintained and it's pristine the rest of the year. They keep it ready to go anytime they need it.
Yeah, gas turbine.
Yeah.
Well, hey, anything else for the net this evening?
Yeah, you started talking about the weather earlier on in the net, and we had some hail pass across my house around 5:30 or so. Pea-sized hail, little freak storm popped up and lasted maybe all of 3 minutes and was gone. I didn't know if anybody else out there got a little bit of hail at their house or just down here in South Tulsa where I'm at.
Okay, I'm east of you. I'm in south of Broken Arrow, and I didn't notice any hail. I may not have noticed pea size. That may have sort of gone in under my radar, but I certainly heard a lot of wind howl through the chimney. That was a short storm, and it was surprising. I wasn't expecting that for sure. Over.
Yeah, it caught us by surprise. The kids were just about to head back in from playing outside outside, and I was like, I think it's gonna rain. They got inside and it let loose, and then the hail started coming down, and that only lasted about 30 seconds tops, and rained for about 3 minutes, and then skies were clear afterwards. I was surprised.
Yeah, it was small. It was pretty red on the radar too. It was the same thing, and I didn't even notice it. I was out here at work, and I walked through a little bit of rain to get back to the house. And I thought, that's kind of nice. It's sort of a warm, gentle rain. And then the next thing you know, it's like you said, what happened, and then it was gone. And I went and ran a couple errands right fast. So it seems like there's never anybody in the Dollar Tree up here at the stoplight. So on occasion, my wife will send me for a couple things to see if they have it, you know. All right, man. Well, hey, good talking to you, and catch up with us next time and give us your news on the oil situation.
Will do. Thank you very much. KD5NJR, this is AG5YG, clear.
All right, so next on our hit list here, John, K4ISP, KD5NJR. John, we've had a good net. We've talked a little bit about Tiny Basic and my misadventures with CAD, and we've talked about APRS a lot for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So it's a good time for you to pop in. What's going on?
K5NJR on the net. This is K4ISP. Pretty normal day for me. I'm still going to work. Funny, go to work and there's like 8 people there. So, I mean, we don't have any problems with social distancing. Saw your text earlier. Not sure I have a favorite computer language. You know, programming languages are like, you know, they're all kind of the same. I've been listening to the APRS chat and so on. Hopefully those cables will be here this week, so I can see about setting up one of those rhinos as a GPS, considering buying a puck. Unfortunately, to get one with a DB9 on it, used with the Tiny Track, it's going to be about $65 or $70, unless I go for one of those cheap Delorme Earthmates. And I don't know if they use the NMEA protocol, so, you know, whether they'll even communicate with the Tiny Track and with the rest of the world, I have no idea.
Yeah, why do I think that those did not? You know, those used to be pretty plentiful in Hamfests. I'm a little surprised. It's almost like the price has gone up. You said GPS pucks were $75 now from Bion and Company.
The standard one he has, which he refers to as the GPS 5, is about $69. Yeah. You can get the bare one without the housing and all for a few dollars less. But that's designed for, or that's intended for, you know, building into like an all-in-one unit.
Okay. Okay, I would have swore, and I guess that's why I don't, you know, that had come down to like $45 a unit, you know, back in the heyday. But people have sort of forgotten about APRS. I picked up this D700 for $200, you know, end of week before last, and I couldn't be more happy with it. It's just humming along. So I even have that set up as a digipeater, so I'm doing okay. I need to get some sort of janky 20-meter antenna strung up so I can listen to Whisper. The W5KUB balloon, this 8th attempt, it's gone a long ways, and I think he's really got it dialed in now. So I want to start to try to copy data from him, and I need to listen to the space station on 145.825 before I get done with this social distancing stuff, because I could catch it. I could catch it, while I'm at work. So I need to punch up another list of satellite passes and see what's coming over when. But I don't know. I'm doing good here. But like I said, probably next on my list is to try to throw up something for 20 meters. Over.
Thanks for keeping busy. I'm trying to, like I said, I've got software for the Arduino, programming the Arduino, and basic stamp, and I've got those cables coming for the data cable for the Rhino, and a null modem so I can program the Tiny Track. And I have a Tiny Track kit, but I don't know if my hand is enough anymore to do anything.
Okay. Hey, you still there, John?
And in there you missed.
Hey, go ahead, Gene. I thought I had John there, and but he kind of popped a little bit, and then he didn't come back. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't me. I think it was Tony.
Or I didn't hear him at all. I'll take a pause here and see if Tony had a comment.
Hero, yes, I did. Was going to tell John that, and you both, that there is one model of Delorme, with those old ones that you can modify, that will output NMEA that's readable by, anything that'll, serial port that'll, and uses the full NMEA code set. I've actually got one laying around in one of my junk boxes somewhere. I've also got a couple of handheld Magellans, the GPS 315, I think, that also has DV9 out adapter. So if that would be of any assistance, John, holler at me and I'll double check. Like I said, I know there was an Earthmate and there's another model of Delorme. One can be modified and used for NMEA, and the other one cannot.
I wonder if John didn't pop the fuse on his power supply. He'd mentioned his power supply a week or two ago. Hey, John, you still there?
I'm here, but something's going on.
You're back now. I thought you had a undervoltage condition there. Over.
No, everything's good. I heard Tony's comment, so I don't know what went on, but I'm still here.
Okay. Well, I thought I heard you slip off the push to talk maybe a couple times there. But anyways, so I was wrong. Some of those yellow pucks were GPS friendly, the Delorme ones, and Tony knows what's going on there. But let's see here. I think I told you this last week. I was drawing a Muller rocket in OpenSCAD, and I was just kind of practicing today at lunch. I drew some cubes and moved them around the canvas, just for fun, and trying to set up how I want to draw my fins. So making a little bit of progress there. And looking here in the piles of unsorted junk that I've collected over the last 20 years. I'm looking at that Mac SE that you and me tried to open up that time.
I remember that well.
Yeah, that was a little while back. And yeah, so you and Alex have the same birthday, right?
Somebody else, I think Scott May, somebody else.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, anyway, the kiddo's 10 and a half. Man, I think you. Yeah, I think Alex and you have the same birthday. But anyways, yeah, we were working place value before the net. He's pretty good at math. The computer based stuff that he's doing, he's in the 5th grade problem set now. So they've got a little bit left to 4th grade. I think he kind of likes doing math on the computer. Over.
Nice to hear that he's a little ahead at least. But actually, it's me, Alex, and Mike. That was Mike, which Mike it is, but one of the guys in the club named Mike also has a birthday June 8th.
Okay, yeah, it's 8E5QL. I bet it's Mike Mannering.
Doing math on the computer would be a lot more fun.
Yeah. It is. Well, hey, man, thanks for popping in on the net. I appreciate you stopping by, and I'm glad that you're able to make use of those GPSs. We'll keep those in the family, for as long as they're getting used. We'll throw some radios. Hey, get with me if you want to put up a digi at your house or something, because I've got parts for that. I've got a lot of unstarted projects and unfinished projects. So you know how that goes.
All right, I was just calling in to chat for a little bit. K5NJR, K4ISP, back to the net.
Oh yeah, my antenna came in today. When I get that thing put together, I'll send you some pictures. But I picked up a second disc cone to match the other disc cone that I have. All right, man. K4ISP, KD5NJR. Hey, I'll holler at you on the bottom of the net if we close down before I need to go. Next on our list, 85JL. Hey, Bob.
Quite a bit done. We planted some plants in the garden this morning and went out and gave them a little water this afternoon, and it came up a little shower of rain, so I think they may make it. So yeah, it's slowly getting there. Do have an interference problem. I don't know exactly what to do for it. Wife's complaining about the TV. Every time I transmit on the radio, it blanks out the TV next door. Yeah, or I should say in her bedroom.
Oh yeah, man. It's been a little while since I've had that problem. I've got some intermittent noise on 2 meters that I can't track down. But if I get a little bit away from the house, it dissipates. I took a walk today, and I didn't hear it at the mailbox, so I thought that was odd. But anyway, oh man, well, so I'll chew on that one. I have a couple thoughts, and if you have enough slack in the power cord of the TV and the television, or your radio rather. And Joe, N5TEX, had talked to me through this when I first got licensed. But see if you can wind a few turns of the coax around an empty Pepsi bottle, and then sort of tape it up with electrical tape. But see if you can make kind of a crude choke. That I don't know if that's going to help you or not. Are you on low power or medium or what? But you said you're working the TV in the next bedroom over, right?
Well, and the my antenna's up on the roof, the 2 meter or that tram 1480, and the TV antenna is just a little ways to the south of it, mounted up on one of the old dish brackets. So I really don't know if there's a whole lot I can do for it. I've thought about getting one of these or some of these clamp-on chokes, but I don't know whether that would do any good or not either.
Yeah, maybe you'd have to try it. I don't have any of the clamp-on chokes myself, but I think all TV now is UHF. But it's 2 meters that's giving her trouble. That's odd. What's it like when you get on the linked system? Is it even worse?
No, I think it does the same thing. I mean, here in my room, it just blanks it out completely. As long as I'm transmitting. But the thing is I've got the antenna in here. This is strictly for any local digital stations that I can pick up, and the other antenna is just outside. But I don't know if it blanks her TV, in the living room. I'll have to ask her on that too.
Okay, and I don't have the band plan for the exact UHF frequencies for the digital TV stuff. But maybe there's a low-pass filter that you can put on the coax going into the TVs. So, or it'd be a high-pass filter. But if we're lucky, all your ham stuff is lower in frequency, and we can find a filter that'll work. Over.
I was looking on Amazon to see what I could find, and I did find those clamp-ons. So I don't know. We may give that a shot to see if that'll do any good. I might try your Pepsi bottle trick too, and make a little malum out of that and try it and see if that'll work. Anyway, Scott, thanks a lot. Appreciate your thoughts on it. We will keep looking, see what we can find, and maybe we can come up with something really simple. And I may even check my ARRL antenna book. Maybe it's got something in there. Anyway, we'll keep looking. Anyway, thank you, Scott. This is Bob, A85JL.
Okay, well, hey, maybe that'll work. I'm just not sure. Those may not be very good ideas. Wow, that looks like it's a F-fitting. Huh, high-pass filter. 25 pack for $50. That's interesting. All right, man. Well, hey, yeah, if you hear something, let me know. 85JL, KD5NJR. And we're at the bottom of the list on the W5DRZ Monday Night Net additional stations. Call now.
Reject. E5NCP, Tom, New Creek.
Okay, we'll do our recheck and then we'll do Tom.
K5LTS. Scott, I failed to mention that unit's still for sale. K5LTS, clear.
Hey, okay. And, yeah, just a note that Gene's got a Connect Systems DMR handy talkie with all the trimmings available for sale. And you can find him on the repeater or the Board and Buster net or what have you, and talk more about it. But it's a good one. It's been upgraded. All right, and Tom, go ahead with your comment for the net. Welcome, and how was Monday?
KD5NJR and the net, KD5NCP. Good evening, Scott. Yeah, not much going on out here. I did want to throw one thing out there that the choke you were talking about sometimes does help. Funny thing, I've got a story about that, and I'm not going to try and tie it up too long here, but I run a portable station out of the RV fifth wheel using an antenna off the truck, and I had a lot of RF in the wheel, and I found out that I had steps on the fifth wheel, steps on the truck, and I made 12 wraps around this step on the truck before I brought it into the fifth wheel, and it cured the RF problems. So choke sometimes works. All depends.
Yeah, well, see, that's kind of a situation that I was in, sort of close quarters sort of thing. After college, I had moved home for a year or two to gather up the down payment for a house, and while I was home, I got into the amateur radio hobby. And my dad was a ham too, so he didn't have a problem with it. But we were getting into the TV with the 2-meter stuff, and they were on cable, and it was still kind of a problem. So that worked, sort of cable management, being sort of step one. But yeah, old Joe N5TEX had taught me that, but the idea of just sort of keeping the cables organized and where you could coiled up into those crude chokes, and we just made them with electrical tape. But we formed up the cables around, pop can, or pop bottle. And see, you said you had 12 turns. Yeah, and I think we had 7. And I don't think it's really critical, but you just sort of try to get your stuff ship shape, and sometimes that will at least knock the edge off. We'll see what Bob comes back with. But things have changed as far as the frequencies of stuff now. So I am not for sure what to tell him. Back to you, Tom.
What you can do. Anyway, not much else going on here. We went into town today and picked up our 40-foot push-up pole, round push-up pole. So we're getting ready to put our 220 antenna up in the air a little bit further. Take it out of the tree. I got it sitting in the backyard. And in the meantime, we're going to put our WeBoost Yagi antenna up a little higher too, pointing towards the tower. So hopefully that'll help the cell phone reception too. So when you're out here in the buddies, you got to do what you got to do.
Alrighty. Well, how? Oh, you're in New Peru. Okay, yeah. So you're out to the west. Okay, and you don't have a real solid cell phone service out there?
Yeah, basically our cell phone service is non-existent until we put the booster up here, and I've got an antenna at about 20 feet, give or take, and it makes it worthwhile. It makes the booster work, and then we use some Wi-Fi additional help there, and I'm thinking that if we could get that up a little higher, it might even work better when you're out here like this and you don't have much, I don't believe that people don't understand it. They, when you tell them, I don't have any cell phone service, they say, what? I can't believe that. Well, they haven't been out to the rural parts of the country, apparently.
I spend a lot of time in town. What can I say? I get kind of spoiled, I guess. So you got your cell phone, Yagi. You've got that aimed towards Manford.
Yeah, it's actually aimed towards. There's a tower over the other side of Prue, and I've got it aimed towards it. It's the one that we get into the best.
All right. Well, hey. Yeah, that's clever. Yeah, I'm from Abilene, Texas originally, and really it was on that drive down to we went down there at the end of February for a long weekend to see a friend of mine get married again, and it was on the drive somewhere between we may have been around Seymour. We may have been south of Wichita Falls on our way to Abilene, where we didn't have solid coverage in a couple spots, and it didn't bug me real bad. But how it came to my attention was my 10-year-old didn't have data service and kind of let me know about it. so you're right. There's going to be people that have grown up, always having rock solid cell service, and I remember not having a cell phone, of course, and that was 20 years back. But oh well, things change. That's for sure. Over.
After that, I'll tell you, or it was 20 years ago or whatever, when we had to pull over and use a payphone at the side of the road. To today's deal with all the cell phones and everything else, people just don't understand if you don't have cell service. My wife has a friend that she says, "What do you mean you can't do this or can't do that?" Oh, I get tickled at it. But anyway, that's kind of the way it goes. But anyway, I'm gonna turn it back to you, Scott, and I'll let you see if you can get any more check-ins there. But anyway, good talking to you. Hello to everybody on the net tonight, and we'll say 73. KD5 NCP back to the net.
Okay, Tom. Hey, thanks a lot. KE5 NCP in New Peru. KD5 NJR, Scott in South BA. All right. Additional stations for the net tonight. Please call now.
KG5MEH.
Hey, Kevin. KG5MEH, KD5NJR. What's going on?
Hey, Scott. Hey, everyone. Well, I, for some reason, could not get on earlier this evening. I tried 3 times, and for whatever reason, I could not get a transmit out to you.
Really?
Oh, been a busy week. I put in a drip irrigation system for my garden, and so that's new this year. Been playing with it. Had the construction crew come out, the brick masons, to fix one of the walls on the house. It you could lean on it and it would give about an inch. And so they came out, tore that entire wall down, and then reassembled everything all in one day.
Darn.
And after they took it down, they showed me what was going on, and the metal tabs that come off the wall that hold the brick, there were only about 3 or 4 holding up a 15-foot span of wall. So they took it all down, put a whole bunch more tabs in, and it's nice and solid now.
No, I haven't seen a wall before the brick has gone on before. But man, I'm glad they got it fixed, and that sounds like they made a really good time. They got the brick and the mortar and all that. They must have been putting some of it up while they were still tearing some of it down, right?
They took it all down and then redid the base and cleaned everything up. Came back, put all the tabs in, and they got to use 75–80% of the original brick, and only had to bring in some new stuff. It's not the same color, but it's the same texture, which is okay because we're going to have the entire house painted this year, both the wood floor upstairs, or the wood siding upstairs, and all the brick down to make it all kind of match now.
Well, you've had a lot going on out there. You've done the roof, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe even some plumbing, right?
My $1,000 toilet still works pretty good.
Man, that's the way it goes. I've been bedeviled by plumbing, and I'm really glad my wife got this. But she'd sent me to Chick-fil-A for dinner one night, and in the time that it took me to go and come back with the food, she had heard a noise that sounded like rushing steam in the wall, gone outside to the hot water tank, visually made sure that, that wasn't what she heard, came back in, hit the master water shut off in my son's room, and then called her brother about how to turn the hot water tank off and then turn the master water back on, all in the time that it took me to go up there and get back with dinner. And come to find out that on the hot water line, one of the T's had split apart. So that was a pretty easy fix. That the plumber was in and out in under an hour. And we had the furniture and everything pulled back, and showed him right where it was in the wall. So that worked out well. But I hadn't heard of one of those copper T's coming apart. I don't know if those are. Well, I guess they're not cast, but I don't know. But somehow they can pop. In layman's terms. Over.
Copper fitting breaking either. We had a little pinhole that popped up in the, I think it was the cold water line to the washing machine. We got that fixed, but I hadn't heard of one popping like that. So kudos to her for taking things into her control and getting it fixed for you.
Yeah, I was super proud. She was Johnny on the spot. But yeah, we've done the pinhole leak thing before too. Fortunately, in our house, and it's not far from the air handler. In fact, if I open the return air vent door and take the filter out, I can see the main plumbing stub up for the whole house. And yeah, so we've had all that replaced once, and we've had a slab leak once in that same corner of the living room. And oh yeah, it's fun stuff.
Other than that, like you said before, it's week 6 of being inside all the time, and we're trying to find new ways to kind of keep ourselves sane. But I think I caught the cat cheating at rummy today, so we're going to have to find a new game to play.
Hey, copy that. Well, the mailman brought me a new Discone antenna, so I'll get that thing put together, and we'll see. I need to come up with a mount for it, but then the VHF UHF station will be just about how I want it. And maybe if I can get some 20 meter QRP antennas built before this all goes back to normal, I'll be feeling pretty good ham radio wise. And we'll see. But yeah, this was a good weekend. Got some TV watched. Got some quality time with the wife and kiddo, and played around a little bit with TinyC and this CAD software that I've got. I'm going to get this scratch-built model rocket thing checked off my bucket list here one of these days. But nah, it was good, Kevin. And man, I'm glad that turned out well with the brick on your house.
For tonight, certainly enjoyed the net. It's been a really good one tonight. Didn't get to do a whole lot last week because my battery on my little walkie-talkie finally dried out after I've been using it for almost a year on a single charge. So I'm still pretty impressed with this thing.
All right. Well, hey, that's great. And yeah, it's always good to talk to you. So with that, I'll check you out of the net, and we'll see. Oh, good grief. Okay, 9:38. That's all right. I don't want to leave anybody out. Let's see if we have additional check-ins for the net tonight. KD5NJR with the Monday Night Net.
KG5TTE, Mark, I know the first time.
Okay, hey Mark. Well, hey, welcome aboard. First time. Okay, well, I'm Scott, KD5NJR, and let me get your call one more time so I can start learning it.
Kilo, Golf, 5, Tango, Tango, Echo.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, hey, I'm in South BA. Yeah, you sound good coming into the repeater. Over.
So I made sure I'm just running 5 watts right now, and the repeater signal's coming in 5 by 9 by Gully.
For sure. Nothing to worry about. You got a good signal. Do you use the 146 985 repeater any?
Quite a bit on Claremore. What I've got logged is Claremore and Pryor. About what I've talked with most.
Okay, so you're on 09 and 06 a lot. Yeah, those are good machines. I received those strongly in Broken Arrow as well.
Question, when they work weathers, is that mostly on the 70 centimeter band?
Yes. Yeah, I get most of that on 443 850 in East Tulsa. And I think there's a TARC UHF linked repeater that would carry the same stuff. Maybe that's in Veneta. But yeah, anyway, yeah, UHF.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's about the only frequency I don't have. I've got my shack here. I've got 2 meter up to 160.
Okay. Yeah. Well, sometimes you'll hear a bit on 146 88, on the TRO repeater, but I don't know what the plans are for this year. But yeah, most of that's on the SuperLink.
Figure all that stuff out. I've had my ticket over a year, and just been doing other things. But with this time I have on my hands, I've been studying for the general. Hopefully I'll be able to take that for too long, and then I can use. I've got 3 HTs here